Hi, everybody. Welcome. So happy to have you here with me today. And I'm super excited. We have Rita Ester with us today. Yay, Rita. How are you?
Wonderful. How are you doing?
Good, good. Happy
I,
Thursday, everybody.
yeah,
Hope
I saw your
everybody is.
email that it's like freezing where you are, right?
Oh my gosh. -12 said
I
my
can't
thermometer on my car.
believe it.
Okay. And yeah, and we got a ton of snow. I guess that's what happens when you live in the Midwest, right?
Yep.
Kind of par for the course. So what I am going to do, it looks like I'm multitasking. I kind of am. All right. So we are now live on Instagram as well. So shout out to everybody. Gosh, I hope everybody is doing well. Hope your January is off to a good start. And I do want to just do another shout out to those of you impacted in California. So, really, our thoughts are with you. Um, can't even imagine the devastation. So, anyway, hope things are starting to come together as much as they possibly can for those of you impacted. All right, guys. So we are here today live. I'm super excited to spend a little time with you today. And we have a really great topic in store for you. I love this topic so very much, and it is incredibly relevant to each and every one of you here with us today. So, again, we are here with Rita Ester. And Rita, I just want to mention, is the genius, the tech genius, and the design genius in my business. So Rita is amazing. And I just want to say, do you guys know how hard it is to find one person who has both sides of the brain humming, right? The creative side for design and the tech side for all the tech stuff. Like that is a very hard combination to find. I can attest to that. So I am here to share her brilliance with all of you today. And Rita Ester is from Delegate and Accelerate. And today we're going to be talking about SEO optimization, specifically from clicks to clients, mastering SEO without breaking the bank. Love that title too. All right. So, Rita, let's, for those people, for people in our audience that maybe don't know you, why don't you tell us a little bit, just a little bit about your backstory, because it is really quite interesting.
Awesome. So I started out in 2004 in a direct sales company. Never had done sales before, and I worked my way up over 12 years to their general manager. And I loved what I did. I was really, really good at it. But due to some personal issues, I walked away from that 12-year career and started my own business. I actually started it in 2014, but was full-time by the end of 2015. So it took a little while to get some momentum.
Mhm.
And I've been doing that ever since, helping people like Leslie grow their business. I'm behind the scenes. People rarely ever actually see me, but building sales pages and funnels and webinars and slide decks and email marketing, SEO, the whole nine yards. And I'm a complete nerd for it. I love all things marketing and I love all things tech. My dad is an engineer. My son is an engineer. My brother's an engineer. So that engineering mind kicks in. My grandmother was an artist. And so
Ooh,
that's where those two kind of came
this.
together.
Okay, so yeah, you've got a special gift, truly, with the the artistic side and the nerdy tech side. Usually, it's one or the other. So, it really is a rare find to have to be able to tap into both. All right, so let's dig into this amazing topic, shall we, Rita?
Awesome.
All right, so let's start by talking about SEO, search engine optimization. What is it and why does it matter for health and wellness professionals, especially those of us in private practice?
Yes. So what SEO is you're optimizing your website and your content for search engines. So it's literally search engine optimization. Now, when
Mhm.
any of us do any SEO work, we typically optimize for Google, because once Google is optimized, once you optimize for Google, Bing and Yahoo and all of that, it's pretty much the same protocol. And why it matters is that your client, they're searching for you right now, but they can't find you if your website doesn't come up on a Google search. So instead of you getting that business, your competitors do. And when you're in private practice, every client matters, right? I mean,
Mhm.
of course, it's going to matter anyway, but every client is like, you need to get these
Cool.
clients. And if they're just landing on somebody else, then that's who they're going to go to. And SEO, when done properly, it attracts your ideal clients organically. So you're not paying for Google ads, you're not paying for Facebook ads or Instagram ads. It's organically without having to rely on social media marketing. And unlike social media, SEO is forever. You have to keep working on it. But once you have optimized a blog post, for example, it stays that way. Like, you don't have to do it every single day. You might want to
Yeah.
review in 6 months or in a year, but it's done. And that's a whole lot less work than social media. So a well-optimized website will turn clicks into clients because they're finding you, they're asking questions to Google, something on your website answers that question, and on your website, there's a call to action for them to book a call with you or download a freebie so that you collect those email addresses.
I love that. So let's talk a little bit about, it's January and we're all, if we haven't already done so, like back in December, some of us are either creating a business plan, writing down our goals, or refining our plan. So how should someone's business goals shape their SEO strategy?
Sure. So every page on your website should have something that you want your people to do, right? So you don't want people to land on your website. And I'm not talking about your homepage. I'm talking about your services page or a blog post. And they read it as if it were entertainment and not take action. So you have to ask yourself before you write a blog or before you create an about page or a work with me page, what do I want people to do? It needs to be one thing, one action. Do I want them to download a freebie? Do I want them to book a call? Do I want them to book an appointment? Do I want them to take a quiz? What do you want them to do? And if you don't have that goal of what you want them to do to further your goals, don't make a website. Don't make that webpage. Don't write that blog post. There needs to be a purpose. So whatever matters in your business, whether it's leads, email addresses, which I consider leads, or it's converting it to maybe a discovery call, that needs to be your primary purpose of every page. What is this page's purpose?
Okay. And can that vary based on each page? So you're not saying it needs to be the same
Right.
goal.
For example, Miss Vula Manusos, which is also one of your clients, Leslie, she and I do have permission to talk about her. I ask her, is it okay? She's like, oh yeah. Every time we write a blog post, there's a goal. Do we want them to book a call or do we want them to sign up for a freebie? Now she has several freebies. She has a meal plan freebie. She has one that's like a journaling template, one that's for SMART goals. And so depending, like we literally, when we're planning out a blog post, either are they going to book a call, or are they going to get one of these freebies, and which freebie makes sense, right? So whenever it's the beginning of the year, our clients are focused on goals. So we write a blog post about goals, and then the SMART goals worksheet is the freebie, if that makes sense. And then we get that email address, and then she takes it from there, getting them to book a call. But that's where my role as SEO comes in. Is like, what do we want them to do? And it works. Vula went from getting 0 new emails on her email list to now 2 to 3 emails a day she's collecting without running ads.
Which is so good. Yeah. And no paid ads, which is amazing in of itself. And what's really cool too, obviously from a financial perspective, is quite often these people that are finding her online because of the optimized SEO are reaching out for a consultation. And of course, when that happens, most of them end up saying yes to her 3-month program. So
Yeah, it's been
that's how
amazing to watch the growth of Vula's email list, because when I first started working with her, it was kind of non-existent, and we get email notifications when she gets a new subscriber, just as a backup, just in case, whatever. And anyway, so I see them coming in every day, and it's just so good to see it working. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's super exciting. And it's consistent, and she's not paying for ads, which I love. Ads are an option, absolutely, but I think it's super fun and just great when we can get these kind of results without that added expenditure of paying for the ads. So let's talk a little bit about SEO tools. I know I have my personal favorite, but I'm curious about what yours are. And specifically, are there any? We all like free, right? With the understanding that quite often anything free is going to have limitations. But what are some good places to start in terms of free or low cost SEO tools?
Sure. So the best low cost SEO tool that I have found is called keysearch.io.
Okay.
I believe it's $8 a month. It's not very
Mhm.
expensive at all, or $12, but it is a little limited, and sometimes the results are a little wonky.
Mm,
What's a really good thing to run your website through is something called Google's Page Speed Insights. It's free. It's a Google
okay.
tool. You can also use Google Search Console, and that'll show you what keywords that you're already ranking for. And this is really important. So, for example, when I first started working with Leslie's SEO, we found that she was getting a lot of hits for a blog post called "Taking Care of Business," and people were looking for the lyrics of "Taking Care of Business."
Oh,
And so we had to remove that because we didn't want Google to think that Leslie's website is a song lyric website, right? So whenever you
oh,
go through
it's so
Google
fun.
search, yeah, when you
Because
use
we have that in there, right? Taking care. Oh my God, that's right. I had actually forgotten about that. That's hilarious.
yeah, so
Taking
whenever you
care of
use Google Search
business, right?
Console, it'll tell you what keywords you're already ranking for, and those are free tools. So Google Search Console and Google's Page Speed Insights. Now, professionally, I like to use a tool called SEMrush. That's SEM Rush.
Okay.
It is not inexpensive. It's a little pricey, but
Mhm.
it does so much. It's great for competitor research. It's
Mm,
great for like it's a really good tool. It is a free $7 free trial for
okay.
7 days, I believe. And the least expensive option I want to say is like 150 a month.
Okay.
The plan that I'm at is like 300 something a month, but that's because I want all the tools so that I can
Okay.
see all the data. But it's one of those things. This is how I see it. Once you start investing that much, either you're becoming an SEO expert or you need to hire somebody else to do that. At that price point, like don't spend that much money. Keysearch.io is
Mhm.
much more affordable and
Mhm.
gives you a lot of the information that's inside of SEMrush.
That's the one I use.
Mhm. And I just
So,
want
yeah.
to say that just getting that data, that's just step one, right? That's
Okay.
just knowing where you're at, what your competitors are ranking for, how Google sees you. That's just step one of the SEO journey, I guess. I hate that word at this point. It's kind of
Mhm.
overused. But that's the first step of SEO is kind of
Mhm.
knowing what you're ranking for. What do you want to rank for? And honestly, whenever I'm working with my clients, it's often the hardest thing for them to answer is, what do you want to rank for? Oh, I don't know. You're gonna rank for your name no matter what, because there's very few people with your name, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to IBS and gut health, you're not gonna be on page one of Google for IBS and gut health. You're just not. Like you're not gonna that's not gonna happen. So that's the first thing to ask yourself, what do I want to rank for? What can I rank for? And it might
Mhm.
be something like Mediterranean recipes for IBS. That's a much
Mhm.
narrower search term. They call that a long tail keyword, and we can get
Mhm.
you a page one on Google for that. That's much easier to do.
Okay. Yeah. It is kind of interesting how that works. So, and some of the keywords or the key phrases are not things that you would, I don't know, it just isn't going to be necessarily top of mind, right? When
It,
we're trying to find topics.
us as professionals, we think of things at a higher level. Like, I need
Mhm.
help with this. But what people who you want to help, they're looking for solutions. What supplement can I take for X, Y, and Z? What's a
Mhm.
natural remedy for X, Y, and Z? How can I lose 15 pounds without X, Y, and Z? And if you create blog posts that answer those questions that your people are asking, you will get on page 1 of Google. So for example, Leslie does not really talk about clinical work in her coaching programs, but her people ask all the time, can dietitians order labs? We wrote a blog post that answered that question. She's on page 1 of Google next to Rupa Health. She beats Rupa Health on that query. That's pretty great because her people need to know, like, that's a question that they ask.
Yep. Yeah, which is great. I didn't know I was ahead of Rupa. Yay. That's awesome. Okay, so we've talked about a couple or several SEO tools, which is probably a really good place to start. So let's talk a little bit about why building an email list is so important to a successful SEO strategy.
Right. So the purpose of SEO is to get your website on the first page of Google so that people click on it. But whenever they click on it, you need to give them something to do. And the most effective thing that you can do is get them on your email list. Email marketing has proven to be more profitable than social media, more profitable than almost anything else. If you can get them on your email list, then you also have to send your regular newsletters, which you should be doing anyway, but you get a chance to market to those people. So going back to Vula's SMART Goals for Weight Loss worksheet, she knows that these people want weight loss, and they're the kind of people that want to track their goals, which is the kind of people that Vula really wants to work with because they're a little, I guess, on the nerdy side maybe. And so that particular opt-in has emails that go out after they've opted in that say something like, hey, it's been a couple of days. How is it going with this worksheet? And then the next email that goes out maybe a week later would say, you know, here's a tip to help you get the most out of that worksheet. By the way, if you need some personalized support, you can always contact me. So there's 6 to 10 emails that go out after someone's opted in that encourage people to book a call or purchase a course or whatever it is that you want them to do. That's how your SEO and your email marketing should work together. It isn't a one and done thing for them to just get to your page. Well, then what? Like if you show up on page 1 of Google, like if Leslie shows up on page 1 of Google for can a dietitian order labs, and there's nothing on there for them to do, it doesn't make any sense to even try. Like we need them to book a call or download this freebie so that we can get their email address and then further market to them.
Yeah, having that call to action is so important. We need to define what is that step that we want our people to take next. So really super, super important. So let's talk a little bit. I mean, I would think, and I'd be curious to hear from our audience if anyone still has a brick and mortar. Let me know in the comments. My impression is that most people in our field have moved to serving their clients online. But nonetheless, I do want to ask, how does the SEO strategy differ for local brick and mortar type of businesses versus the virtual type of practice? What do we know?
So, for example, I'm here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. If I were serving people locally, I would, every single page should say something like growing up in Baton Rouge, blah, 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 or living in Baton Rouge, blah, blah, blah. Or even more specific, living in South Baton Rouge, X, Y, and Z on every page and every blog post, literally every single page on your website should not just have your contact details, like, you know, your address and your phone number and all of that, but talk about living in that community.
Okay.
Google rewards that. They want to create a community. And what dovetails into that is your Google business profile, which should have your same name, the same address, the same website, the same phone number. So for whatever reason, you know, maybe on, let's just use my name, for example. My name is Rita Ester, but maybe my business is called Rita Ester Creates. If it doesn't say the same thing, Google doesn't like that. So make sure that
okay, so we need continuity.
Yes, Google really rewards that. So if you have a brick and mortar, or if you're serving your community locally, maybe you're going to them doing house calls or what have you, or you want to serve a local market for whatever reason, mention your city and state in every blog post. Growing up in Baton Rouge, I learned how to cook crawfish etouffee, and it's my favorite thing to cook. And blah, 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 whatever, like weave it in somehow. Now, when you're virtual, that's not nearly as important. What's more important when you're virtual is those long tail keywords that I talked about, which might be something like, how do I cook meal without gluten or whatever it is? That's a very specific question that your ideal client would be asking on Google. And if you can create a blog post that answers that, it's going to help you get found. But if you're local, as a dietitian in Baton Rouge, I know that we eat a lot of fried foods. See what I'm saying? So that's where you weave that in if you're local.
Okay. Yep, you guys do. But you're probably not the only ones, right?
I mean, I have a deep fat fryer like on my countertop. So
no way.
It's
not an air fryer.
I've got it's got dual. I can do like shrimp on one side, my fries on the other, so it doesn't.
Oh my goodness, we got to talk, Rita. Oh, that's great.
But yeah, when you're virtual, those long tail keywords, they're so effective because it's a more specific search phrase that your ideal clients are typing into Google. They're looking for help. And so it doesn't have as much traffic, but these are high quality leads, right? High quality people who are searching for exactly the problem that you solve. So instead of nutritionist, which is very competitive, you're not going to get on page 1 for that. Nutritionist for women with PCOS, much more specific.
Okay.
And that's going to help you show up on the Google search instead of just for nutritionist. So how do you help people? What do you do? Like, who are you and how do you help? So nutritionist for women with PCOS. That's much more powerful than nutritionist.
Okay. And so what you just described sounds like a good key phrase, i.e. long tail keyword. I like saying key phrase a little better. Long tail keyword is kind of a weird.
Right. You know, it's a key phrase, but in general, it's going to be a question. That's the
exactly. So it sounds like what you just in the example you just gave, nutritionist for PCOS, that sounds like something you would put on like your website pages versus writing a blog, right?
Yeah, I would do both. I would make your what's called an H1 tag, nutritionist for women with PCOS, and then talk about it. But then in a blog post, as a nutritionist for women with PCOS, this is what I see all the time. This is a common mistake. So, you know, you do a Google search for like PCOS. Like this is a really easy way to find out kind of what's people are asking. PCOS symptoms. And there's a little thing on Google called People Also Ask, and see some of these questions that people are asking and write a blog that answers that question. And the blog title should literally be, what can I do for, or whatever that People Also Ask question is. Don't overthink it. Make that your blog title, write the blog and say, as a nutritionist, dietitian nutritionist who helps women with PCOS, I see blank problem all the time. And here's what you can do to start feeling better. Now, what they can do to finish feeling better, of course, is to book a call or to download your freebie that helps them. You know, then you're at the next step in the marketing pathway.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It really does make sense. So what would what would a good first step be for our audience that's listening today? Maybe, maybe they have they haven't invested any time or effort into SEO. And also, here's another question. Does it depend, like the type of website? Does that matter?
Sorry.
Well, I was going to say, a lot of times when we're starting out, we kind of want to DIY it and we'll do a Wix site or, one of those. So like, tell me, to get this kind of impact, where do we start?
Well, WordPress is going to be your best bet. However, I would say 5 years ago, it made a big difference. Today, it makes much less of a difference. The technology from places like Wix and Squarespace has caught up, and Google has recognized them, as like legitimate websites instead of what was it, GeoCities we used to have back in the day? I'm old. Anyway, that's not as big of a deal. The biggest mistakes that I see for people's SEO is they will make their H1 tag, which means that's your number one headline, something that is unrelated because it looks better. So let's just say that the H1 might be welcome to. And whenever Google sees your website, they're not looking at the pictures.
And that tag is like the name of the page, kind of like on the back end, right?
Yes.
The
And
H1.
if I say something that's completely not SEO instead of PCOS, nutritionist for women with PCOS would make a lot more sense. And design-wise, the H1 tag usually is prettier. The H2 tag is prettier than just a paragraph. But there's ways that we can make it look however you want and still have the proper tags. So that's the number one mistake that I see across the board is people using the wrong H tag or using them inappropriately. So if we think back to like 7th grade when we were taught how to create an outline for a book report, the title should be your H1. Your H2s should be all of the, 1, 2, 3. Your H3 should be your ABCs, right? So that's how you want to structure your website. So that way, whenever Google is reading it, it knows what's the most important, what's the purpose of this page. And then second important and third important. That really makes sense. And it makes sense to Google. And then in addition to that, when you're writing your blog posts, they need to have the keyword in there. So if I were, let's just say, keeping with the PCOS, the blog post might be called Easy Mediterranean Recipes for Women with PCOS that you can cook in 30 minutes. But the URL should be Mediterranean Recipes PCOS. What are people searching for?
Okay. Oh, that's a really good tip. So for our audience that is listening in thinking, I don't want to do this. I love what you're saying, Rita, but yeah, well, first of all, I do want to just say that doing SEO research and like uploading blogs and things like that, you guys can do it. Okay. You really can do it because I have seen my clients who are very, very clinically oriented, who, if we give them like a checklist on how to upload the blog and all the different things that need to happen, they can do it. Okay. So just want to be clear about that. You guys have done probably harder things in your training. However, there is something to be said for delegation. Like, okay, maybe I can do it, but should I do it? Right.
And it's a whole rabbit hole. Like you can start with easy fixes, but really like this is what we do full time because it is a full time something that needs to, it just, in my opinion, there comes a point where it costs you money instead of saves you money.
Yeah, exactly. So what do you have to offer folks that are really not want to do it myself?
Sure. Well, I think the easiest way to start is to do an SEO audit. So I do have a free SEO audit. There is some software that does it for me. I'm not personally reviewing your website. Again, we use software, so that way there's no guessing, but it's delegateandaccelerate.com/SEO-audit. And when you do that, you'll get an audit that shows your numbers. And so if you want me to, Leslie, I can kind of share my screen and show people what an audit looks like. Let's see, present and slide note, share screen. Let me share the right one. Yes. Oh, come on now. Okay, I can't. Let me put something in our private chat.
Okay.
Select a tab to share. Anyway, I thought that'd be a whole lot easier, but I'm going to give you the link and maybe you can share your screen if you can figure that out. If not, but just to show you an example of what this looks like. This is a real SEO audit for that I did with this software, but it gives you a score and kind of gives you a starting point. So that way, this is where I am. And when you have a starting point, then you can have a goal. So I dislike when people come to me like, fix my SEO. Okay, what do you want to fix? Where are you? I don't know. Okay, well, let's start with that. Like when I work with people one-on-one, that's what we start with is an SEO audit. Let's see where you are so we can create those benchmarks, create those goals, and then work towards them, get you a plan of action.
Okay, hang on, guys. I'm getting there. Okay, actually, I think I got it. Here we go. Okay. Is this it?
Yep, that's it. So if you scroll down to the second
Mhm.
page, and this is what will be sent to you automatically through the software, or the third
Okay.
page, rather. It's going to give you there it is. So scroll up just a
Mhm.
little bit. It's going to give you a score right up top,
Okay.
right, and then you can know, like, okay, my SEO score is 45 out of 100. This needs to be fixed,
Okay.
and it kind of shows you like what's going on. What, like, are you passing or failing this? So, for example, the page title length fail. It's not long enough. When I first started working with Leslie on her SEO, the homepage, we needed to add more content to it. It was just too short.
Mhm.
So again, the software just automatically, like, goes through your website, finds out where you rank, what's going on, and then of course you're going to get some emails from me that say, "Hey, book a call," because that's the whole point of any of this.
Uh-huh.
If you want more help.
Okay. Okay. So you get a report, and then the person, the client is able then to review this and just kind of decide what they want to prioritize in
Yes.
terms of fixing their website and potentially working with you.
Mhm. It's a
Okay.
really good. I mean, even if you decide to do it yourself or hire somebody else, this is where you want to start. So then you
Okay.
can just go to them and say, "Hey, can you fix these issues?" Now, this
Okay.
is just the surface level of fixing SEO.
Mhm.
This would, even if all of these issues were fixed, most of the time SEO is an ongoing process. So you cannot just do it and then forget about it forever, or you will
Okay.
start sliding down. Google loves it when you update content, when you make changes, when you add new content, when you write a new blog. That's what it
Mhm.
takes to stay on page one of Google. You're not going to stay there forever unless you continuously work on this. You don't have to spend 40 hours a week or anything, but probably like 10 hours a month, like working
Mhm.
on keeping everything up to date and new and fresh content, changing things up, adding new pictures, embedding videos. Like if you do, say, something on YouTube, embed that into a blog post. Google loves it when you cross promote their products. They're happy about that. You're more likely to show up on Google.
Okay. Very cool. Okay. So let me share that link again for anyone that is interested. Okay. So it's delegateandaccelerate.com/SEO dash audit. And this audit is free, right?
Yep, absolutely free.
Okay. So yeah, free is a
Yeah,
good
I pay for the software so that you can get this for
Right,
free,
right.
so that I can get your email address. So just to let you
Okay.
know, that's how it works.
Okay. Very cool. Okay. Awesome. All right. Any final words of wisdom as we wrap things up for today?
Yeah, actually, I want to say that one of the biggest things that I see working with my clients is that they're comparing their year 3 or 4 or 5 to someone else's year 10 or 15, and you just can't do that.
Okay.
Like, start where you are and just continually get better, and momentum kicks in. Like,
Okay.
there's a thing that success happens really slowly and then all at once. It is
Yeah.
so true. Like, work towards it methodically. What's your goals? Work toward it, and don't compare yourself to anybody else. Like, it will happen. It can happen. I've got Bula on
Mhm.
first page of Google for so many things, Leslie on first page of Google for so many things. Like,
Mhm.
anyway, it is definitely possible, but it's not going to happen if you don't work towards it as a goal.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely, if you guys need more leads, this is the way to go. And I really want to emphasize how important it is to grow your email list. Please, if you're not doing it, like we need to talk. All right.
Yeah, email
Um,
marketing is, that is, I'm
yeah,
in all areas of marketing. Okay. Email marketing is the number one.
it
So where
is.
does SEO come in? That's how you get those email addresses, because they find your website and you invite them to book a call where you're collecting
Mhm.
their email address, or download a freebie where you're, again, collecting their email address.
Mhm. Yep. So guys, if you're not doing that yet, we definitely want to talk because it's critical.
Mhm.
Okay. And then the SEO, like that, who doesn't want more leads on their website, right? And you don't have to point or dance or do any of that. That's kind of the
Right.
beauty, right? Like it's yeah. So
Yeah, there's a
Anyway,
lot of people freaking out about TikTok because they're using TikTok as their main lead source. And that may
right.
or may not be there. And that's the truth for everything except for
It
your
is.
website that you own.
Yeah.
That's not going to be taken away from you. Facebook could go away, Instagram go away, TikTok, whatever new thing there is, red note,
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, whatever the new thing is can go away. But
Yes.
your website and your email list belong to you.
You own it. Yep. And I have heard of people just like out of nowhere, Instagram, poof, gone. So it does happen. I can't say I hear it all the time, but it does happen, and it's pretty
One of my
yeah.
online entrepreneur friends, he built his whole business on Periscope. And when
Oh
Periscope
gosh.
went away, and this is 10 years ago, but when Periscope went away, he went from making like $40,000 a month to, hey Rita, can you help me build this because I can't like as a friend I can't pay
Yeah.
anybody. And that it was pretty incredible. And now he's come back. He's pretty active on Facebook, but it
Yeah.
took a serious dip. Like it was bad.
Yeah.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket ever.
Don't. And I would just remind everybody that if you're on social media, I mean, social media is great because it really does expand your reach. That being said, I just want to remind everyone that the ultimate goal is to move people from social media onto your email list because, again, you own that. So, we just want to be really clear about what is it we're trying to accomplish on social media. So, guys, if you don't have the pieces in place to even start growing a list, let's chat, reach out to me, and we can have a conversation. If you have things kind of started, but it's not working out so well, I would definitely, reach out to me. I can connect you directly with Rita, or go right to her site, delegateandaccelerate.com/SEO-audit, and get yourself a free audit. Like, we love that price.
Yeah. But yeah,
Right?
I'm in
Really
Leslie's back pocket. I see what she does for her people. And if you're hesitating, book a call with her. Go to lesliebytel.com. Top right, it says get in touch. Click that button, fill it out, and get in touch. Like Leslie moves mountains with her clients. It is amazing to be on the back end and to see that growth. And I've been working with Leslie now since 2018, which is quite a while.
Yeah.
And I was talking to one of Leslie's clients yesterday or Tuesday, 2 days ago. And we were both like, just Leslie really cares. And that's what makes a difference. It's like Leslie genuinely cares about your success. It isn't just about making a paycheck. We all want to get paid. But like whenever she's not working with you, she'll say, Rita, what's going on with, let's just say Vula. Nothing's going on with Vula. Everything's great. But like, what's going on with Vula? Her numbers aren't quite right. Blah, blah, blah. What can you do? Like she genuinely cares. And that's hard to come by. So just want to put that out there.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I do care. I want you guys to all be successful. I always like to say the world is your oyster, right? The thing is, we got to hone in and really focus on specific strategies that are going to move you forward. Mm-hmm. I do think, don't you agree, Rita? Like, isn't that one of the biggest challenges? It's just not knowing what to focus on and just kind of
throw so many people out there that are like, oh, you need to do reels. You need to do a YouTube channel. You need to do blah, blah, blah. And it's like, was that making you money? Is that really going to get people in your front door? No, what they're trying to do is sell you a course on how to do reels, sell you a course on whatever it is. The software, you have to have landing pages. You have to do webinars. No, you don't. It's a great marketing tool, but no, you don't. They're trying to sell you their marketing software. So don't pay attention to any of the shiny things. What really works is a well-optimized website, a well-written email sequence that follows up whenever someone opts in, and you showing up in their inbox with your newsletters and a little bit of social media. I don't recommend any more than 3 posts a week, honestly, unless you're promoting something. It just doesn't convert into clients the way that spending your efforts working on your email list would do. So get on podcasts, be a guest. That's a whole lot more effective than doing a TikTok, whatever. Look at me dancing thing. Like, no, that's not going to bring you the leads that getting on a applicable podcast would. That's going to bring you a lot more leads, right? I mean, right now, this is going to get me a lot more leads than if I did a TikTok of me, here's me working. Like, that's not going to convert.
Right.
It might get me views, but views don't pay the bills. Likes don't pay the bills. Invoices pay the bills. So
that's right. Okay, guys, let's make it happen in 2025. So you guys know where to find me, Lesli at lesliebytel.com, or just go to my website, lesliebytel.com. And and then I've got Rita's info here. And, Rita and I really work as a team, as she alluded. And so we'll take good care of you. So, all right, guys, let's do it. 2025. Here we are. We're already, well into the new year. It is going to fly by, right? So let's do things right. So reach out and we will get you moving forward, get you clear on what needs to happen. And any kind of final things that we want to talk about before we let everyone get back to their day?
I just want to remind people to have fun. We're not on this earth to stress out and to number. Like, it's supposed to be fun. Business is a game. I like playing business, right?
Yeah.
Remember when you were a kid and you would type out stuff on your, keyboard or your typewriter because you were like, get into that spirit and the money comes a lot easier.
Love that. So true. Yeah. Gosh, we need to have a little levity, right? Have some fun. Okay, guys, we are going to let you go. Hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. And don't forget to reach out to Rita, delegateandaccelerate.com/SEO-audit. And, you can reach me. Just go to my website, lesliebytel.com. So we're both here to help, and just really want you to have an amazing year this year. All right, guys, take care, and we will see you next time. Bye for now.